Alia was a poor but kind-hearted girl who lived with her ailing mother in a small hut on the outskirts of an old village. Her father had passed away many years ago, and since then, her mother had suffered from a severe illness. Alia had taken on the entire responsibility of caring for her mother. She would wake up early in the morning, do the household chores, and then collect wood from the forest to sell to the villagers to cover the household expenses. Alia's uncle, Karamdeen, was a cruel and ruthless man who was intent on seizing their land. Many times, he came to their house and threatened them, but Alia's courage and honesty always held him back. However, Karamdeen's oppression was increasing day by day. One day, when Alia's mother's condition worsened further, Alia decided that she would find a way to get her mother treated. She knew she had no money, but she held on to a glimmer of hope in her heart. Every day, she would go to a desolate place and pray beneath an ancient tree. This tree stood deep in a secluded forest, far from the village. People believed that the tree was magical and that strange events took place around it. Alia found a strange sense of peace near this tree. Every day, she would go there to pray for her mother's health and pour out all her sorrows before the tree. She did not know that beneath the roots of this tree lived a powerful and benevolent jinn named Jaren, who had resided there for centuries. Jaren was the guardian of the tree. He was moved by Alia's kindness and honesty and wished to help her. One day, while Alia was praying under the tree, her uncle Karamdeen suddenly appeared. He was filled with rage and shouted at Alia, "You still haven't left our land. You and your sick mother have become a burden on our family." Alia looked at Karamdeen helplessly and said, "Uncle, we have never harmed you. We are simply trying to live our lives. Please, for God's sake, do not trouble us." But Karamdeen had no compassion in his heart. He stepped toward Alia and raised his hand to strike her. Alia screamed, "No, don't kill me." At that moment, a fierce storm began to blow, and a mysterious echo resounded in the air around the tree. A powerful voice echoed, "Beware, do not lay a hand on Alia." Karamdeen's courage failed him. Terrified, he stepped back and ran away. Alia was stunned. She felt as though some unseen force was protecting her. She kept looking at the tree, but no one was visible. After this incident, Alia felt that her prayers were being answered. She started going to the tree daily, and each time, she experienced an unusual sense of peace. She did not know that Jaren was guarding her and was moved by her kindness, wanting to help her. However, another danger was lurking: a malevolent shadow jinn who was Jaren's enemy. He was trying to harm Alia. He knew that if Alia discovered Jaren's true nature, Jaren's power would weaken. After the mysterious event at the tree, Alia felt an inexplicable confidence. She visited the tree daily, and each time, she sensed an invisible force protecting her. Her mother's condition had also slightly improved, giving Alia a glimmer of hope. But in the village, Karamdeen's cruelty was growing. He was devising new ways to threaten and intimidate Alia and her mother. One night, while Alia and her mother were asleep, Karamdeen set fire to their hut. The flames spread rapidly, and smoke filled the inside. When Alia woke up, she saw smoke everywhere. She screamed and tried to wake her mother. "Mother, wake up quickly. The hut is on fire." Due to her weakness, her mother could not get up quickly. But Alia did not lose courage. She lifted her mother onto her shoulders and tried to escape from the burning hut. As they moved, a wooden beam was about to fall on them, but suddenly, a powerful gust of wind blew, pushing the beam in another direction. Alia felt as though a miracle had occurred. As soon as she stepped outside, she saw Karamdeen standing at a distance, laughing. She immediately understood that this was all his doing. A storm of anger and helplessness surged in her heart, but she could do nothing. The next morning, Alia went to the tree and poured out all her sorrows. Crying, she said to the tree, "If you can truly help me, please save my mother. We have nothing left now." Beneath the tree, Jaren heard Alia's plea. He was deeply moved by her helplessness, but he knew that helping her directly could be dangerous. His enemy, the malevolent shadow jinn, was constantly watching him. This wicked jinn, named Zarak, was a dark and cunning creature who hated Jaren because Jaren had defeated Zarak centuries ago in a magical battle. Zarak's goal was to weaken Jaren's power and use Alia as his pawn. One night, while Alia was sleeping, Zarak tried to enter her dreams. He took her to a mysterious forest and said, "Alia, I can help you. I can make your mother healthy and punish your uncle. But in return, you must give me that tree." Even In her dream, Alia replied, I will never give away my tree at any cost. It is a symbol of my hope. Zorak was filled with rage, but he concealed his anger. He knew he could deceive Alia by revealing the truth about Jaren. The next day, when Alia went to the tree, she heard a mysterious voice say, Alia, you will be protected, but you must remain cautious of your enemies. Alia was startled and asked, Who are you? Are you the one who has been saving me? But there was only silence in response. The strange events surrounding the tree convinced Alia that some unseen force was protecting her. She continued visiting the tree daily, feeling a mysterious peace that comforted her heart. However, questions also began to arise in her mind. Who was protecting her, and why? One day, as Alia sat beneath the tree, she heard a faint voice, Alia, your honesty and courage have impressed me. I want to help you, but you must keep my secret safe. Alia looked around in astonishment, but no one was visible. She asked, Who are you? Are you the one who has been protecting me? The voice replied, Yes, I am Jaren. I am a jinn, and have been guarding this tree for centuries. Your kindness has compelled me to help you. Alia's heart pounded. She had heard stories of jinn but had never imagined speaking to one. She asked, Why are you protecting me? And who is your enemy? Jaren replied, My enemy is Zorak, a malevolent jinn who thrives on the power of darkness. He wants to harm you so he can weaken me. You must be cautious of him. Alia thought, if a jinn is willing to help me, I might be able to save my mother. But can I face Zorak? Meanwhile, Zorak devised a sinister plan. He ensnared Karam Deen in his trap. One night, as Karam Deen was returning home after drinking alcohol, Zorak created an illusion of a golden light, and Karam Deen saw a vast treasure emerging from the ground. Greed took hold of him, and he moved toward the treasure. But as soon as he approached it, Zorak ensnared him. Zorak said to Karam Deen, If you keep Alia away from this tree, I will give you this treasure. Blinded by greed, Karam Deen nodded in agreement. The next day, he went to Alia's house and threatened her, If you go near that tree even once, I will throw you and your mother out of the village. Alia looked at Karam Deen helplessly, but courage burned in her heart. She knew that Jaren would help her. That night, as Alia was sleeping, Jaren tried to enter her dreams. He took her to a mysterious forest and said, Alia, you must not fear. Karam Deen, I will protect you, but you must not fall into Zorak's trap. In the dream, Alia replied, I trust you, Jaren, but I need to save my mother. Can you tell me how? Jaren said, Yes, you must find the magical stone hidden in the roots of the tree. This stone has the power to heal your mother, but obtaining it will not be easy. Alia decided she would find the magical stone. The next day, she went to the tree and began digging around its roots. After some time, she found a glowing stone. A wave of hope surged through her heart the moment she saw it. But just then, Zorak appeared, filled with rage, and shouted, That stone belongs to me. Give it to me. Alia clenched the stone tightly and said, No, this stone will save my mother. Zorak tried to attack Alia, but suddenly, Jaren appeared. A fierce battle erupted between the two jinn. Thunder roared in the sky, and a storm rose in the air. Seizing the moment, Alia grabbed the stone and ran. She knew that this stone could save her mother. Holding the magical stone tightly, she sprinted toward her home. Her heart was pounding, and only one thought consumed her mind, I must save my mother. Behind her, the battle between Yaron and Jirag continued in the sky. Lightning was striking, and a mysterious echo filled the air. When Alia reached home, she saw that her mother's condition had worsened. She was unconscious, and her face had turned pale. Alia placed the stone in her mother's hand and began to pray, Please save my mother. A soft light emerged from the magical stone and started merging into her mother's body. Within moments, her mother's eyes opened, and she looked at Alia with a smile. Alia, do you know what you have done? Alia hugged her mother and crying said, Mother, you are fine now. This is all due to the blessings of the tree. But the happiness was short-lived. Suddenly, the door burst open, and Karam Deen entered. He was filled with rage and shouted, Alia, where have you hidden that stone? It belongs to me. Fearlessly, Alia replied, Uncle, this stone is meant to save my mother. Please do not trouble us. But Karam Deen did not listen. He advanced toward Alia, but at that moment, a loud voice echoed, Stop. It was Jaron's voice. He had returned after defeating Jirag, but his strength had weakened. Yaron cast a single glance at Karam Deen, and he became motionless. Yaron said, To Alia, you have shown great bravery, but the danger is not over yet. Zora has trapped your uncle in his web, and he will try to harm you. Alia asked, what can I do? Euron replied, you must protect the tree. That tree is the only thing that can stop Jirag. If he destroys it, his power will increase. Alia decided that she would guard the tree. She left her mother at home and ran toward the tree. When she arrived, she saw Jirag standing before it, using his dark powers to destroy it. Alia shouted, stop. You must leave this tree alone. Zora turned around and said, you are just an ordinary girl. What can you do to stop me? Zorakar sneered, but Alia's heart was filled with courage. She picked up the magical stone and said, this stone can end your darkness. A bright light emerged from the stone and moved towards Zorakar. He tried to stop the light, but he grew weaker and weaker. Meanwhile, Euron used the power of the tree to bind Jirag. Jirag screamed and struggled, but he was powerless. Euron turned to Alia and said, you have shown great bravery. Now, Jirag has been bound forever, but you must protect the tree. It is the only thing that can keep the darkness away. Alia smiled and said, I will always protect this tree. It is a symbol of my hope. With Jirag sealed away, Alia felt that everything would now be fine. She visited the tree every day, and each time, she felt a mysterious peace surrounding it. Her mother had fully recovered, and even Carm Deen was ashamed of his actions. But Alia was unaware that the tree held another secret, one that had remained hidden until now. One night, as she sat beneath the tree, she heard a faint voice. Alia, your courage and honesty have impressed me. But now, you must learn the true secret of this tree. Startled, Alia asked, what secret? Euron replied, this tree is not just a tree. It is a magical gateway that connects to worlds. If someone opens this gateway, they can enter a new world. But to do so, you must pass a test. Alia wondered if she could face such a challenge, but curiosity burned in her heart. She asked, can I enter this new world? Euron answered, yes, but you must express a truth from the depths of your heart. You must overcome your fears. Alia decided to take the test. She stood before the tree and closed her eyes. Suddenly, she felt herself walking along a dark path. At the end of the path stood a massive door. A mysterious voice echoed in the air. Face your fear. Alia looked ahead and saw Korra standing before her. Fear gripped her for a moment, but she gathered her courage and declared, I am not afraid of you. Your darkness has no place in my heart. Jirag vanished, and the door opened. Alia saw that she had entered a new world. It was beautiful, filled with light everywhere. But suddenly, another mysterious voice echoed, Alia, your test is not over yet. You must make one more decision. Alia saw two paths before her. One path would take her back to her world, while the other would lead her to a new life. She wondered, can I leave my mother behind and start a new life? Just then, she heard her mother's voice. Alia, your place is here. You must return. Alia made her decision. She would go back to her world. As soon as she made this choice, she found herself back beneath the tree. Euron smiled and said, you have completed your test. Now, you must protect the tree, for it is the only thing that can keep the darkness at bay. Alia said, I will always protect this tree. It is a symbol of my hope. But suddenly, another voice echoed from the tree. Alia, your story is not over yet. You will discover another secret. The voice from the tree surprised Alia. She began to wonder, is there still another hidden secret? Euron smiled and said, Alia, another chapter of your story remains. You are about to learn the true secret of the tree. Alia looked at the tree and asked, what secret? Euron replied, this tree is not just a magical gateway. It is a living entity that has been protecting the land for centuries. Its roots reach deep into the heart of the earth, and it holds the power to keep the darkness away. But now, the tree needs your help. Shocked, Alia asked, what can I do? Euron said, you must go to the heart of the tree. There, you will face one final trial. If you succeed, you will gain the tree's true power and will be able to end the darkness forever. Alia decided to face the trial. She placed her hand on the trunk of the tree, and suddenly, she felt herself falling into a dark tunnel. when she opened her eyes. When Alia opened her eyes, she found herself inside a mysterious cave. At the center of the cave was a glowing stone. A voice echoed, "Alia, you must touch this stone, but remember, you must express a truth from the depths of your heart." As Alia touched the stone, she said, "I love my mother beyond measure, and I will always protect her. I do not fear the darkness because my heart holds the light of hope." A brilliant light emerged from the stone and entered Alia's body. She felt a new power awakening within her. Suddenly, Rak appeared inside the cave. He was filled with rage and shouted, "You have destroyed my darkness, but I will stop you." Alia, fearless, replied, "Your darkness has no effect on me. My heart shines with the light of hope." Jirag tried to attack Alia, but she used her newfound power to stop him. He screamed, but he was powerless. Jaren said to Alia, "You have succeeded. Now, you possess the power of the tree, and you can eliminate the darkness forever." Alia returned to the tree and embraced her mother. Her mother smiled and said, "You have shown great bravery, my daughter. Our lives will now be better." Even Karam Din was ashamed of his actions. He apologized to Alia and said, "I am inspired by your courage. From now on, I will protect you and your mother." Alia looked at the tree and said, "This tree is a symbol of my hope. I will always protect it." Jaren smiled and said, "Your story is not over yet. There is still much more for you to do."